Hello, the one and only Xylophoney here to introduce to you Pokemon Fight Club. We've gathered 8 of the toughest Pixelmon trainers, and we're throwing them into a new arena, a Pokemon arena. So this is going to be very difficult for me personally, but I think it's going to be very exciting. Before we get started, I got a couple ground rules for you guys. First and foremost is going to be, always talk about Fight Club. Tell your friends, your family, everyone you know, anyone that even heard of Pokemon, talk about Pokemon Fight Club. Anyway, that's the only important rule. We're going to get right into it. So what we did is we drafted 12 Pokemon each person, 3 Pokemon from 4 separate tiers. The overused, the underused, rarely used, and never used tiers, and we cycled down the list of us all, and you may choose 6 of those Pokemon, any 6 that you would like, when you go into your next battle. We also know who we are going to go up and battle against, so we can choose our team accordingly. For example, if I'm going up against a very strong Gyarados, I'm going to want to bring an electric type, and so on. Now, one big disclaimer before we go into this. I hardly know anything about Pokemon, at least not recent Pokemon. I haven't played any of the last 3 generations. I don't know anything about Megas or any of the new battle systems that are in place. I don't know any of the tiers, any of that. I had to be briefly explained this right before we drafted things. So my choices are mostly just things I like and things I've used before in Pixelmon. This may not be the best strategy going into a Pokemon competition, but it's the best I got, so hopefully it'll go well. But here's my choices. Number 1 was Mega Metagross. Now I almost completely missed this guy if it wasn't for Tiger pointing him out to me, so big thanks to him. But Metagross is my favorite Pokemon, and this seemed like a very obvious choice to me. Plus, well, he's a strong Pokemon while being my favorite, so it really worked out. Now, in the second round of the draft, I chose Gyarados. Now, Gyarados is certainly also a very strong Pokemon. However, he is one of my personal favorites just because of all the great Pixelmon Island experiences I've had with Gyarados. So expect some Dragon Dances coming from this guy. Third, I decided to mix things up a little bit and choose someone I was familiar with, but not fully familiar with, Gliscor. Now, Gliscor I know has a lot of potential as, a tank and a potential damage dealer with Swords Dance, so I'm excited to really try this guy out when it gets to the battles. And then we got to the Underused Tier. Now, I was shaking the whole time because for this particular tier, I had the last pick. And I chose Umbreon. I was very afraid that someone else would pick Umbreon because I need my champion. I need him. And we do have him joining us, fortunately, so he'll be bringing his tanky trolley self into the ring. For my 5th choice, I have Salamence. Now, Salamence is of course a very strong dragon type. Now, I just couldn't really let this guy, go unchosen. He was there, and, I didn't see any other obvious decision, so I went with Salamence. Seems like a very strong choice, and I can do a lot with him. Now, for my 6th choice, I was kind of looking around, and I really wanted to get Swampert. In fact, I wanted to get Swampert right after Umbreon, but Panda chose him before I was able to. So, no skipper this time, but we were able to get Galvantula. Now, I have used Galvantula in Pixelmon Island before, and I'm definitely a fan of him, especially since in Pokemon he can use Sticky Web to be a good starter, and a lot of other cool things. So, I'll probably be using him a lot. Now, as we got to the next tier, my first choice was Jolteon. Now, it seemed a little strange for me to choose an electric type right after an electric type when it's not that important of a type. But, in all honesty, I hardly knew what any of the Pokemon in this tier were. This is the rarely used tier, and I was just looking around and I was like, well, I know Jolteon, I'll pick Jolteon. And that's what it came down to for that. And my other 2 choices are Pokemon I have never used before. So, my 8th choice was Virizion. Now, I absolutely had no idea what Virizion was. I just have a friend named Viri who is in my stream chat, so I chose Viri. Boom! Easy decision! I thought it was the Vivillon or whatever that butterfly moth thing is, but it's actually a grass fighting type I learned and I was told, so yeah, that's our choice. We may end up using him. Seems like good typing. I didn't plan on choosing any grass types, so boom, we have one. And number 9's an even better reason. I chose Tyrantrum. Because he looks like a dinosaur, and dinosaurs are cool. Great reasons, right guys? I know how to stack my team. Now, keep in mind, as I was setting this all up, I was trying to pick Pokemon I knew while keeping in mind checks and balances, but I kept thinking to myself, ooh, I have a weakness to Rock type and Ice type, and unfortunately, I kept having to go with my second choice and forgetting to balance myself out. So in general, my team does have weaknesses. But anyway, continuing on to my 10th pick, we're gonna Trustle the Crustle. Yeah, so this is in the never used tier, which I was surprised by. How can people not Trustle the Crustle? It's ridiculous. But I can always use him if I need to have a nice rock Pokemon. Well, I guess I have Tyrantrum for that. But I can also use him to set up Stealth Rocks if I'm going up against a team that's heavy in Flying and Fire type. Now, I don't particularly think I'll use him over Galvantula all that much, but if I need to, I will. Anyway, for our 11th choice, we have Magmortar. Magmortar I used in Egglock, and he was probably my strongest Pokemon in it. He seemed like a very easy choice for a tier this low. I was surprised he was there, to be honest. But it seemed like a great Pokemon to have, and, you know, I could always use a Fire type. And finally, for my 12th and final choice. Oh, you guys are gonna love this one. Drumroll, please. Dugong! Dugong! Yes, we have Dugong. Why? Because Dugong. Duh. Anyway, hopefully you guys like my choices for the team. I looked around them a bit, and I think we can do some tweaks and balances and like setting stuff up. For example, you know, we can make Gliscor tankier or more damagey. We can make Umbreon a couple different ways. We can make Salamence a special attacker, since we have a lot of physical attack set up here. And, well, we have Dugong on the team, and we can Trustle the Crustle, so it should be good. But now we're going to take a brief look at some of my opponents. Now, in the first week, I'm going to need your guys' hints and advice on this, because I'm going to be going up against Richie. Now, here is his team right here, along with some of the other competitors, and there's going to be some challenges for me. Obviously, I don't really know what a Lopunny is. Alakazam and Scolipede are both really tough Pokemon, as is Lucario. Plus, there's a lot of stuff that really counters me, and Suicune. Luckily, I have some electric and grass types, so I should be able to take out Suicune just fine, but there's a lot of Pokemon there that I need to worry about. So, let me know which Pokemon you guys think I should bring into the battle, and of course, you know, let me know a couple hints I should know about taking out some of these guys. Luckily, Richie did choose mostly Pokemon that I'm familiar with, and he of course chose one of his favorites, Octillery, but I don't really know a lot about Lopunny, so need some advice about that. And of course we also have Rockstar and Tiger, who I'll be fighting in the following weeks. Each battle will be done once a week, and only one battle a week. But before that, we'll be going over our strategy and making this as intense as possible. It's all or nothing every time we go into the Fight Club ring. So, let's go on to another page of the trainers here, so you guys can take a look at them. We have Dark's team, which is known as the Great Wall, because 90% of it is tanky Pokemon. Personally, I don't think I'll have a lot of trouble with this, but it will be annoying for a lot of people. Then we have Panda's team. He chose a Mew, and then afterwards we all learned that we could, well, I don't know, maybe it was just I learned, that we could change moves between the battles all we wanted. So Mew is an amazing pickup, as well as his other Pokemon. And we also have Cloud here, with a solid looking team. And we have Pixel Dip's team, which mostly consists of Pokemon I am not familiar with. So, this will definitely be an interesting competition. Let me know if you guys are excited to see me playing some Pokemon. Remember, we're going to have a series of battles. Everyone on these lists I'm going to battle once, and then the top 4 placing people in this will have a playoff at the end, and of course a championship after that to be crowned the champion of Pokemon Fight Club. Anyway guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this little preview. Next week on Thursday, this will be happening every Thursday, we will be having the first battle. So be here then, get ready for my fight against Richie, and wish me luck, because when it comes to Pokemon, I'm gonna need it. I may have a lot of experience in Pixelmon, And I think it's really going to come down to me knowing a lot of predictions and having a lot of instinct towards it, and that may help me win. However, when it comes to knowledge about a lot of this stuff, I am kind of in the dark. Anyway, yep, I guess that's it. See you guys next Thursday, or of course, later today or earlier today, or tomorrow for the next video. And I will see you next time.